rules interpretation. I just, wanted to thank for getting the adjusted rules out to us so quickly, to aid in tonight's presentation. And I don't know if we want to get an update from Butch and John regarding the upcoming season. I know there'll be some concerns regarding each organization, the mask and things like that we probably should, get some sort of understanding of how each organization is going to be handling things, just like we're doing at the PIAA level. But welcome, and hand the floor over to you, Senator.
All right, guys. For those who don't know me, I'm Victor Scamilio. I am the rules interpreter for the chapter, and also through U.S. lacrosse trainer. And won't keep the coaches on too long tonight. I have a video from U.S. lacrosse on the youth rules interpretation that will show you guys. Then we'll talk about the local revisions and adjusted rules, and go from there. So why don't I start the U.S. lacrosse, and we'll get going.
NFHS Board Rules Interpretation, presented by U.S. Lacrosse. Due to the cancellation of the 2020 spring sports season across the country, the NFHS will not be publishing new rule books for 2021 and will reuse the 2020 rule book this year. The following.
Let me make sure this is the right one here, guys. All right, hold on. I got to get back to the Zoom and mute everybody.
2021 boys lacrosse rules.
Somebody's got all their stuff going on. Mute that, guys. All right, that's better. We won't get that side noise in.
Interpretations, presented by U.S. Lacrosse. Due to the cancellation of the 2020 spring sports season across the country, U.S. Lacrosse will not be publishing new rule books for 2021 and will reuse the 2020 rule books this year. The following video contains information from the 2020 video and some clarifications based on feedback given to the National Rules Interpreter or received through the annual rules survey. Rule 191, Player Equipment. In 2021, all goalkeepers must wear lacrosse chest protectors that meet NOCSE ND 200 and contain the SEI certification mark. For 2021, coaches must confirm with officials that their goalkeepers are wearing the right chest protector during the pre-game equipment certification. If a coach does not confirm that their players are properly equipped according to the rules and goalkeepers are wearing a NOCSE ND 200 lacrosse chest protector, then the game cannot be played until that team has a legally equipped goalkeeper. As a reminder, starting in 2022, all field players must wear protection that meets the NOCSE ND 200 standard with the SEI certification mark. For a list of approved products for goalkeepers and field players, go to www.seinet.org. Only products that are on the SEI list and contain the proper marking are legal for play. Rule 422, restarting play at 8U and 10U. Restarts at 8U and 10U are rules that will remain as they have in the past, and these levels of play will not use the new quick restarts that are being adopted at the 12U, 14U, and high school levels. Officials can restart play only when all players are 5 or more yards away from the ball carrier. Restarting play at 12U and 14U. For all restarts, officials should restart play as quickly as possible at or near where the ball was when play was suspended. If a defensive player is within 5 yards of the ball carrier when play resumes, that defending player must give the ball carrier a direct path to the goal without impeding his play and establish themselves at least 5 yards away before playing defense on the ball carrier. Failing to do either of these will result in a technical foul for a delay of game. Before play resumes, any defensive player 5 or more yards away from the ball carrier does not need to give the offense with the ball a direct path to the goal and are free to engage the ball carrier as soon as the whistle sounds. In the following example, you will see that one defensive player is less than 5 yards away from the ball carrier before play restarts and all others are 5 or more yards away. Only the player less than 5 yards is required to give a direct path to the goal and can only defend against the ball carrier once he has gained a distance of 5 yards. There are still instances to delay a restart. They include when an offensive player is less than 5 yards from the player in possession of the ball, when a goalkeeper is out of his crease and has not been given a maximum of 5 seconds to re-enter his crease on a restart, when the player in possession of the ball is ready to restart play but is within 5 yards of the substitution area, an unfair advantage gained by the player in possession of the ball starts running downfield before the official blows their whistle to restart play. When play is blown dead by officials and the ball continues to roll downfield away from the location where play was suspended, or an official is not ready to start play. In this first clip, after a loose ball violation, number 20 blue picks up the ball and play is restarted with number 16 white less than 5 yards from the ball carrier as play resumes. White number 16 immediately defends the ball carrier and is flagged for a technical foul for delay of game because he did not establish himself at least 5 away from the ball carrier before or after the whistle and defends against the ball carrier. Pay attention to white number 17. After the loose ball violation occurs, white number 17 did establish himself 5 or more yards away from the ball carrier. Because of this, he is free to defend against the ball carrier immediately. This next clip is another example of a defender not reaching a distance of 5 yards or more before defending the ball carrier. After an over and back violation, attackman number 12 on the brown team picks up the ball and play is resumed quickly by the officials. Number 13 white is at a distance which is less than 5 yards from the number 12 brown when the official blows the whistle to resume play. Because number 13 white contacts the ball carrier and never established a distance of 5 yards or more, the official throws a flag on number 13 white for a technical foul, delay of game. The following clip is an example of when a second offensive player is less than 5 yards from the ball carrier when play resumes. It is still a requirement that all offensive players be 5 yards or more away from their teammate before play can resume. If this situation occurs and officials inadvertently restart play, they should stop the game immediately, return the ball carrier to the correct starting location, and properly restart the play. This next clip demonstrates a goalkeeper out of his goal crease and getting up to 5 seconds to return to his crease before play resumes. The goalkeeper from the blue team was carrying the ball upfield and turns the ball over around the substitution area. After the turnover occurs, the ball goes out of bounds and is awarded to the white team. By rule, a quick start is delayed and the goalkeeper is granted time up to 5 seconds to return to their crease before the play is restarted. Rule 5.5. Illegal cross. all crosses that are found to be illegal when inspected by an official during a game carry a personal foul penalty time of 2 minutes non-releasable. Illegal cross penalties are no longer of the 1 minute or 3 minute variety. The 2-minute fouls replaced the previous illegal cross penalty time in which some issues were correctable and carried a penalty length of 1 minute, and other cross penalties had a penalty length of 3 minutes, and the player's cross remained at the table for the rest of the game. It is the responsibility of the player and the coach to assure that the stick is legal for play if it is used again in the game. The officials do not reinspect a cross to ensure it is legal for play. If a cross that was already found to be illegal is found to be illegal again later in the game, it will result in a new 2-minute non-releasable personal foul for an illegal cross. Exceptions remain in the rules for hanging strings or a missing end cap. Both of these issues, when identified by officials, can be corrected without penalty provided the player fixes the problem before returning the cross to the game. Rule 510. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Throwing a cross at the ball, another player, or other game personnel is penalized as 1 to 3 minutes non-releasable penalties. Rule 652. Illegal procedure. Throwing the cross for any other reason other than what is listed as an unsportsmanlike penalty is penalized as a technical foul for illegal procedure. The 2021 U.S. Lacrosse Rules Survey indicated that coaches and officials continue to be confused on slow whistle situations. The slow whistle technique allows a play to continue temporarily, so the offended team has an opportunity to score a goal after the defending team has committed a time-serving foul. The slow whistle stops when either a goal is scored, the ball goes out of bounds, the defense gains possession of the ball, the offense commits a foul, officials stop play for an injury or a player that lost a piece of equipment that causes a potential safety issue, a timeout is called, the end of a period, a second defensive foul is committed. The U.S. Lacrosse Youth Rules Committee would like the lacrosse community to be aware of the following points of emphasis for the 2021 season. U.S. Lacrosse promotes a zero-tolerance approach for dealing with unsportsmanlike behavior. Zero tolerance disallows complacency regarding unsportsmanlike behavior for coaches, officials, spectators, or players. U.S. Lacrosse encourages officials to penalize unsportsmanlike conduct ranging from arguing calls, threatening individuals, profane or obscene language, or any other behavior which seeks to intimidate or degrade others. This behavior can include discrimination based on race, color, religion, ancestry, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, or a mental, physical, or sensory disability. U.S. Lacrosse encourages organizations, leagues, and tournaments to adopt the new anti-harassment discrimination policy that can be found by going to the following link. The committee remains aware of the concerns raised over the enforcement of the stalling rules. It is the responsibility of the team in possession of the ball to attack the goal. Stalling rules can only be enforced once a team has successfully cleared the ball into their offensive area and appear to be or are deliberately not attacking the goal. As a reminder, stalling can be enforced whether a team is man up, man down, winning, or losing in a game. Stalling cannot be called if a team has possession of the ball in their goal area and the defense is not attempting to play the ball. A stall warning remains in effect until a goal is scored, a shot is taken at or above the goal line extended that hits the goal pipes, goalkeeper, or his equipment, The defensive team gains possession of the ball. The period ends, resulting in a face-off. The committee encourages coaches and officials to review the rules and situations that apply to stalling before the start of the season. Continued emphasis is needed regarding player safety rules, specifically illegal body checks, checks to the head or neck area, and targeting. Contact to the head or neck shall result in a 2 or 3 minute non-releasable penalty. A 2 or 3 minute penalty occurs whether the initial contact is made directly to the opponent's head or neck, or a legal body check slides up into the opponent's head or neck. Players shall not body check a player in a defenseless position. Hitting a defenseless player also will result in a 2 to 3 minute non-releasable penalty with the potential for an ejection. Targeting the head/neck of an opponent or targeting a player in a defenseless position is a 3 minute non-releasable foul and an ejection. U.S. Lacrosse would like to thank you for watching the 2021 Boys Youth Rules Interpretation. For more information about the rules, interpretations, memos, or more resources, visit uslacrosse.org/rules.
Okay. First off, any questions on the interp video we just saw? You can unmute yourself if you have questions. All right, so no questions on that. Thank you guys, as Steve said, for sending out the changes for the local league to the U.S. Lacrosse rules. If anybody has any questions with the adjustments?
Vic, do those updates include the protective masks that the league is going to be using, the clear masks?
I don't
The
believe
shields.
I don't believe I see it in there now. So it was going to be my question to see if the league had COVID rules that they were going to require.
They took a vote about 2 meetings ago, and there were quite a few organizations that did not like the final decision. But the kids are going to be required to wear shields on their helmets. It's a clear shield. And what the league wants us to do, if somebody comes on the field without one, we're just supposed to say, yeah, send them off. It's not going to be a penalty situation, but the league wants everybody on the field to be wearing the shield.
All right.
Now, if
So
Butch
what
is
I'm going
on,
to do,
go ahead.
let me interrupt for 1 second. I'm going to ask the league then to put that in writing and get it out to us, and they could get it out to the coaches and copy us. If it's in writing, and then we can implement it for them on the field.
Right. Now, if Butch is on, he might verify this. I believe that shield goes for everybody except for the goalie, because he's not involved in most cases in close contact with other players.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's the only thing that I know that the league was going to individualize themselves from other leagues by having
Sure.
to wear the shield.
So another question I have is, will the youth follow PIAA for modifications to face-offs? Will they require us to have officials to have masks? Do you know?
I don't think the face-offs were discussed. Butch, are you on?
Yes, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Yeah, we're basically going to be following PIAA's recommendations for players and officials, as well as spectator spacing on the sideline.
Okay. So guys, when the league decides on what they're going to require of the players, and what they're going to ask us as officials to do. If they just want to put in there that they will follow PIAA, that way if PIAA modifies anything during the season, the PIAA modification will flow right to the youth.
Right, that I gave them, in the last meeting we had, I mentioned to the league that that would be my recommendation to follow PIAA's rules as far as pertaining to masks and things, because all you need to do is just log on to PIAA's website, it's public information, and go to spring sports and see what's changing, because hopefully we get back to some sense of normalcy, whatever normalcy is, come the end of the season, and I'm sure we're going to be in a fluid change from now until then, hopefully in a positive direction. So we wanted to have one spot or one place as a clearinghouse that would be the directive for all to follow and go from there.
Okay, and we have the updated bulletin that we can get to your president, and he can disseminate to the group as well.
Yeah. But
So
as far as the face-offs, I think we're going to still follow, if I'm not mistaken, I think we're going to still follow the normal face-off procedures for face-off players. We're not going to the NCAA directive as far as what they're requiring. So yes, you can still go motorcycle grip and have a knee on the ground for the face-off player.
yeah, so that way it's safe then just to follow the mechanics that PIAA put out.
Right.
Yeah.
In all this, the youth is basically a training grounds for people to move up, and that's, we don't, is as mixed as it can be from one level to the next, from one area of the state to the next. We want to have some fluidity where we all try to work towards the same common goal.
Okay. Guys, in the chat here, there is a rep from Bangor Lax asking for the layout and dimensions of the U14 field. I'll leave that to the league to get to that coach. But for our guys and for the coaches on here, you will see that the adjusted rules talk more about logistics, size, number of players, rather than they do contact. That will follow the U.S. lacrosse, and what you saw in that video is what we will be our points of emphasis for this year. The restart procedure will follow just like we had with PIAA. We will start that up this year with the quicker restarts. So that all that in that interp video flows right to the local rules. There really aren't adjustments in the contact. It's more of time, field, number of players. So any questions from coaches? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask the coaches to leave the meeting, and then we'll talk to the officials so that we can have our discussion with our youth officials. Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it. I apologize for the issue with signing on earlier. So.